Hey Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot. So as promised, I wanted to do a separate read on our lunar eclipse that's taking place from the evening of March 13th into March 14th. Before we get started though, I just wanted to say thank you guys to each and every one of you for all the ways that you love and support this channel, because truly each and every one of you make the difference and I love you back. So let's see what's in store for us during this lunar eclipse, because spoiler alert, the moon is going to be in Virgo, so it will definitely affect us Virgos. Check your placements in your chart on how it will affect you specifically. But to get us started, the full moon in Virgo this time on the 13th coincides with when the ground begins to thaw. And so it's called the worm moon, which is kind of a funky name, but either way, it triggers us to really start cultivating, to get ready for spring, and to get ready for the blooms to bloom again. Now, during this time as well, like I say, we also have the lunar eclipse, and that is known as the blood moon due to the lunar eclipse physique. So this is a time for us Virgos to really look at reflecting, refining, particularly in our daily routines, our health habits, and then also our personal well-being. And so for Virgos, this really can bring out the aspect of working on our perfectionism and accepting the perfectly imperfect us in everything that we are and everything that we do. And really, more importantly, lifting up and shining in that perfection, or perfectly imperfect, I can't talk, the perfectly imperfectness that makes us us. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. I know I've tended to be a bit hard on myself too lately. So, like I say, astrologically, it is what it is. So coming into this lunar eclipse, what I really see is a lot of the anxiety that we can have brought on, particularly with Mercury retrograde coming into effect on the 15th. Unexpected changes coming in. You could be feeling some insecurity at this time, particularly when it deals with conflict and situations of debt or finances. Now, what Spirit is preparing you here is that things may not go as well as expected. This is the time to prepare, and also too, what I'm getting a lot of on this is, you know, especially when it comes to daily routines, personal well-being, health habits, this really prompts us to look at how we deal with situations. And so you could be dealing with situations of conflict. And, you know, like I say, with things not going as expected, this could bring out impulsivity, fear, recklessness, or even anger. And so it prompts us to really go and do some introspection as to how we're dealing with situations at this time. And this truly is our new beginning that brings a freedom that only the phoenix rising from the ashes can bring us. So like I was saying, Venus is in retrograde. Mercury's going into retrograde during this time as well. So it will also influence our relationships, our communication. And it's a time to let go of what no longer serves us, and more importantly, opens the door to a period of self-improvement focused on creating greater balance and alignment in our life. This is about refocusing, really looking at making conscious and conscientious choices, being cognizant of what we're doing, being mindful of how we're walking, basically, finding the truth, holding that vision, and more importantly, leading us on the right path to success. This is all about healing and releasing. And what I found particularly interesting about this lunar eclipse is it really signifies a time that brings us back to 2015 and 2016. And so think back to that time, and during that moment, you may have experienced some very powerful eclipses that seemingly shifted your destiny, helped you with jumping timelines. This eclipse marks the start of a similar period, and it'll take place really from now through 2027. And so what Spirit's really letting us know here is this is a time to be aware of excessive behaviors, impulsivities, addictions, imbalances, or restrictions with vices that are holding us back. That can be manifested either in anxieties, fears, And unfortunately, like I say, anything of healthy habit choices that we're not necessarily embracing or that aren't for our highest good. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. Share your thoughts on what you're working towards releasing during this lunar eclipse, because this is a point where you're really looking back, finding that connection to the past, reconnecting with the energy, the vibrance that you had that helped you with making change during 2015 and 2016, and holding on to that vibrancy so that you can walk forward with this door, with this lunar eclipse. Now, what I found really interesting about this one as well is it also pinpoints, this particular lunar eclipse pinpoints situations that we're entangled with, where we really tied ourselves to situations, discussions, emotional connections, endeavors that began in September of 2024. And so think back to this last year, last fall, the changes that oh my goodness, that flew all the way out there. The changes that you made during that time, the people you were working with during that time, the conflict, the deceit, the theft, cheating, sneaking around that you were possibly having to encounter at that point. This lunar eclipse stimulates introspection and realignment, and it encourages us to evaluate what's going well in our life, what needs to be adjusted, and more importantly, especially with it being a Virgo full moon, it puts us in our wheelhouse of practicality that promotes us to really shifting and paving ways, shifting timelines, to put us on a path of promoting doable actions that lead to increased integrity and clarity. And that's where really you're utilizing your leadership, you're manifesting your goals. Like I say, if something was going on that really provoked you to make change in September of 2024, to walk away from something, to move into a new area, new endeavor, new energy altogether. And you've maybe, what comes to mind is you've maybe struggled where you felt almost in limbo. You've still got a lot of that old that you're thinking of, that you're carrying with, that residual negative energy, conflicts that are still arising from it. And more importantly, you're freeing yourself from that negative energy, looking at what's going well, what still needs refinement, but more importantly, what practical actions need to take place to help you jump those timelines, to get back into that vibrancy that you held in 2015 and 2016 for invoking the change that's meant for you in your greatest good, your greatest alignment with your highest self. And so this is really where you're walking into the door, walking through the lunar eclipse, manifesting your goals, standing in your resilience, and standing in your authority, but being open-minded where you're not letting your fear and your anxiety put you in a place that's of negativity that's led towards stagnation. And instead, you're letting that fear, you're letting that anxiety fall. And more importantly, you're allowing the start of the new, the rebirth, and finally putting a chapter to rest, shedding that negativity, shedding that residual energy, more importantly, and transforming with your new beginning. This is a time where it really allows us to shake off the old you, emerge as the phoenix that you are, that you're meant to become, and to embrace a whole new chapter of life. But truly, this lunar eclipse, what's really wonderful about it is the time to seize the day, to be courageous, and to rise to your new beginning. Now, with the Two of Pentacles that came out 50-50, this is really about embracing your duality, also embracing the trust that's needed within your third eye to really let your intuition guide you. And so on one side of the coin, you could be, looking at harmonizing multiple responsibilities, balancing out energies, tapping into unlimited potential of old bucket list aspects that you haven't had a chance yet to really dive into, to the point that you really, or explore to the point that that really satisfies you or brings on that contentment. On the other side, it's the idea that you're struggling with being unbalanced, or possibly worried about making the wrong choice, having to make a choice in general. Also, too, being fearful of financial instability, having trouble focusing and prioritizing. Instead, with this Two of Pentacles, it allows us to really, again, look at this whole new chapter of life and to take ourselves out of limbo and, more importantly, hold the power to jump our timelines, to change our destiny and move towards that fresh start with our hearts as light as a feather. Now, you could be dealing with some Aries, you could be dealing with a Taurus, or even with a Geminian. This is about walking towards your security. You could be embracing a lot of that energy as well. That's a lot of fire, air, and earth. But either way, this signifies that power of growth. And it also points towards your root chakra. This is all about looking at your foundation and doing your affirmations, taking those proactive actions, taking those practical steps, those doable actions that lead you to a place that helps you to feel safe in all parts of your life. And I'm just saying, I absolutely love it. Like I say, this is the This is the lunar eclipse that allows us to seize the day, rise to our new beginning, and reach towards that 10 of Pentacles, reach towards that financial security, and transform ourselves and change our timelines. I'm just saying, I love it. Now, during this time as well, like I say, Venus is in retrograde. That started as of March 1st, goes into April 12th. So don't be surprised, even though this is really focused for us Virgos on daily routines, health habits, and personal well-being, but that also ties into the types of partners that you're choosing to allow into your energy. You could also have old flames, karmic relationships come back to visit you during this time. I'm sorry in advance. But more importantly, this lunar eclipse gives us the opportunity to really focus on that self-worth, focus on how we value, what we value in our relationships, to stand as the Queen of Swords and defend ourselves when need be, defend our boundaries so that we have healthy relationships. We don't allow things that really tear us down, rather, if you will. Gives us the articulation to really speak our piece, speak our mind, speak our truth, and speak our heart in the situations, but also to stand in the indomitable aspects of Virgos, getting up that one last time, not allowing the negativity, the deceit, the theft, the cheat to really rule us. And this is really about reclaiming your destiny, reclaiming your timeline, and not letting the wounds of the past define you, but instead help shape you in the ways of wisdom so that you can be better prepared and, more importantly, know what doesn't serve you and prevent it from being allowed into your energy again. And if that resonates, by all means, like, share, and subscribe. Put a heart in the comments below. That way we can help get this message up and raise as many Virgos as we can up during this lunar eclipse. Also, too, like I say, Mercury is going to be going into retrograde on the 15th. I'm sorry in advance. Don't hate me. Don't hate the messenger. So during the Mercury retrograde, this is where you may also feel and experience a heightened feeling of frustrations due to miscommunication. You may have increased anxiety, especially when it comes to those details, which I know throws us out of our wheelhouse, right, as Virgos, because that's really what we do best. We organize that chaos. You could also be seeing some family conflict come in, or dealing with that at the moment, or going through a breakup. Either way, you're dealing with upset, dissatisfaction, arguments, shattered values, and it really a disharmonious nature to the energy of your home. That's where really, and you may also find too, I should say, that you're really questioning yourself, feeling the need to double check everything. Now, as a side tangent to caution you, this is during Mercury retrograde. Be careful in signing contracts. Definitely read the fine print is all I gotta say, because during this time, making big purchases or making hasty actions, you could find that you very well end up regretting those decisions later. So no pressure, but if you're going back to somebody that's an old flame, you may find that during this time, towards the end of Mercury retrograde, you'll really uncover, or even during this lunar eclipse when you're really looking at what you value and holding that value so that your personal well-being is cared for in the ways that only self-love can bring, with healthy boundaries. You may very well find that it's short-lived, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you try to reignite that old flame, the way that I always look at it and think of it is like, don't look back, always forward. There's a reason why things didn't work out, and don't get me wrong, Flames can come back together, absolutely. And I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. Only you know what's best for your situation. But in this time, really, it's about standing up and thriving on that challenge, focusing on what really raises you up and not being afraid to stand in your individual independence. Also, too, with the aspect of wands, this is really all about that fire energy and the Leo aspect of action. And then also, too, the action of the heart with the Cancer, when it aligns with your creativity, your activity, your vision, your energy, and your enthusiasm when it comes to your enterprising. So there's two pieces to this that I really see affecting Virgos. One is on the financial piece, but then also, too, in our relationships. And that could be in your community, in your friendships, in your family relationships, and particularly when you're dealing with people that don't necessarily have your best interest at heart, or that are energy vampires that lack wisdom and they're trying to basically tell you how to live your life when really you're looking back and you're like, why are you thinking that I shouldn't have freedom of choice? Kind of aspects is what I'm getting the most. But you're standing up against that chaos, against that destruction or anarchy, the fear of making wrong decisions or unfulfilled ambitions. And instead, with this lunar eclipse, it's a time again to let go of what no longer serves you, evaluate what's going well in your life, what needs to be adjusted, and more importantly, utilize that Virgoan energy that we have in all of us to shake off the old you, promote those doable actions that lead towards increased integrity and clarity that build you up rather than tear you down, and walk towards your fool's journey. This is the spirit of adventure. This is a journey that basically taps into unlimited potential and, more importantly, leads to success, particularly with your ambition, with your vision, making plans and decisions, coming to resolution on really healing and releasing so that you can jump your timeline, change those destinies. And more importantly, this is your justice. This is where you're able to make that judgment call, see the awakening, see the epiphany, realign, renew, and transition. What I also see in a lot of this too is if you've been struggling with releasing past hurts, this is also about forgiving them so that you can release them. Now, I don't mean that forgiveness is allowing people back into your life that have wronged you. This is about releasing them to claim your power back, releasing that through forgiveness, those pains that hurt through forgiveness, so that you can walk forward and be free of that residual energy that's holding you down. And if that resonates, like I say, by all means, like, share, and subscribe. Put a heart in the comments below, because certainly you are not alone in this, and this is powerful energy for us Virgos during this time. Now, also, too, I wanted to look at a few spirit animal totem messages for us. And so, Spirit, what additional advice do you have? Thank you. Okay. So it first came out, is the Deer. Again, forgiveness is about love, and it's about choosing love. And again, this is about personal well-being, daily routines, health habits. Now is the time to be gentle with yourself, particularly if you've been hard on yourself about perfectionist aspects or waiting to do something until it's perfect, reworking something until it's perfect. This is about embracing the perfectly imperfect through love and to heal through the power of love. This is also about seeing the light in all things, right? Even people that have done you wrong have light to them. Nothing is just completely black and white. There's gray within there, right? And more importantly, though, it's important, to acknowledge your self-worth and your grace in the relationships that you value, in the relationships that you hold. And what Spirit is saying, particularly if you've been holding back for whatever reason, and now is the time to seize the day, embracing that whole new chapter of life and raising like that phoenix, the squirrel reminds us that we are always prepared. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Now is the time to make a plan for the future, and life will give you all you need. I'm just saying. I needed to hear that. And if you guys agree, by all means, let me know in the comments below. Also, too, if you need some additional support during this time, check out the Honey Sea Star store. All the designs are meant to uplift and inspire and empower you along your day. Now, if you don't see your power word in there as well, put it in the comments below. Let's design it together so that we can share it through the Honey Sea Star store. Lift as many Virgos up for success and let them know that they are not alone. And more importantly, that we see them in all their perfect imperfections. Now, also too, it wouldn't be a lunar eclipse reading without looking at the cosmos as oracles. And so I did want to pull a few of these. And what Spirit's really confirming for us during this time, reassuring, is to never forget how resilient that you are. You always bounce back. Don't let those negativities hold you down. This is the time to really check in with your body, release the tension that you're carrying, that negative energy, that fear, that anxiety, and instead give yourself some credit. You're doing a good job. Nothing you're doing is wrong, and everything that you are is perfectly imperfect. Or imperfectly perfect, however you want to put it. But this is the time to rise to your new beginning and to stay present, because that's where life happens. I'm just saying. Now, truly, I hope that you guys have the best lunar eclipse this time. If you need some meditational help, check out, I just started a whole new playlist. I've only got one song on there, so don't judge. But I play music. I've always wanted to produce music. So I tried my first dabble, I guess, at trying to learn a DAW and producing some meditational music, because, right, music is the medicine for each and every one of us. So during your meditations at this time, check that out. See if that helps with really realigning your root chakra, realigning yourself, being gentle with yourself, and finding that balance so that you can let go of that perfectionist aspect, take on a more compassionate approach towards your self-care, and most importantly, heal and release so that you can rise to your new beginning. Now, I did also want to just do some music therapy piece and some color therapy aspects. So what we pulled is the C and the E, and then what we also have here is reds and yellows. And so try embracing those colors. They've got a lot of energy and strength involved with them. Try embracing those musical chords, those notes, as you try and play around with your improv while you're doing your meditations. And focus on your crown and your third eye so that you can realign, find a better balance, a greater balance and alignment in your life through that grounding, so that you can shake off that old you, emerge as the phoenix, seize the day, and rise to your new beginning. And so I'm sending all my light and love to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful lunar eclipse, and I'll see you in the next reading.